week on Phirst Contention, Tony Romo hits the bank. Heat streak ends, but what does that mean for LeBron and company and Bears down in Waco, Texas? Keep it locked. It's Phirst Contention.
Let's get this party started.
Coverage tight, spotlight on tomorrow. Who you with? Trust, you'll be delighted that you followed. At Phirst Contention, the invention. We debate sports, of course we should mention. What's that? We cover games, we don't play suspensions. We 100, so if your star's missing, we let you know your squad surely gone fishing. We never fish though, no, not our motto. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention. Phirst Contention.
Welcome back, folks. It is another week of Phirst Contention. I am your host, Ty Sosina. Joining me today is Marvin Banks.
I said hola, senors and senoritas. Harlem Shake.
And of course, on the East Coast, we've got Stephen Davis. What's up, Steve?
What's going on, everybody? Strive higher every day.
All right, three topics for you guys. Round robin. Let's kick it off. First of all, we talked about Joe Flacco hitting the bank after the Super Bowl. Now it appears that Tony Romo is going to become the highest paid quarterback in Dallas Cowboys history. He's getting $55 million guaranteed, more than that of Joe Flacco, who was just Super Bowl MVP. So, thoughts on this contract for Romo? Steve?
Man, this is just a joke. Are you kidding me? This guy hasn't proven anything. He's won one playoff win, and all of a sudden he gets a 6-year extension, $55 million. He's just stealing money from Dallas. And Jerry's just giving it to him because he loves him, which is pretty dumb because pretty much they're not really wanting to compete for a Super Bowl by extending his contract with Tony Romo, because this guy, to me, he just don't have it like anybody else does.
I agree. I don't get this at all. I will give Romo more credit than others. I do believe that a lot of things have happened for that team to be an accident waiting to happen, as Stephen A. Smith has dubbed them. The defense did have a lot of injuries last year, and at times they give up a lot of points, but he's just not clutch at all. I trust the likes of Jay Cutler more than him. I even trust Joe Flacco more than I trust Tony Romo, which is kind of a stretch. But, man, it's just a shout out to these college quarterbacks coming out because no one wants them. I guess there's nothing good coming up for a while. Jerry Jones said, I'll take Romo and I'll ride off in the sunset with him. Unbelievable, but he did.
This is cataclysmic, atrocious, abysmal, whatever word that you want to use. Now what's next? Kevin Cobb is going to get a $100 million deal. Brandon Weeding is going to get a $100 million deal. I mean, if they're going to give it out to mediocre quarterbacks, might as well give it out to who else? I don't know. Who?
Christian Ponder.
Christian Ponder, yes. Give him another deal. I don't know. What this does is that it hurts me. It hurts me deeply. And the reason it hurts me is because if Romo gets 108, Rodgers is going to get at least $300 million. He has to at least get 300. He has to at least get like $300 million, 120 guaranteed, or something like that. You know, if mediocre quarterbacks are going to get this, what do you think a great or best quarterback in the league is going to get? It's just absolutely tragic. Stealing money isn't the word. That's grand larceny at its finest.
You get a deal. You get a deal. You get a deal.
That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like it's doing. And talking about deals, let's talk about another deal breaker that just happened. You know, as the streak came to the end in Ty's hometown city of Chicago, the Heat kind of got a little feisty, a little testy. Danny Ainge came out and Pat Riley told him to shut the beep up and mind his own beeping team. And now when they go down to San Antonio, you rest Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. Is this retaliation for what they did in Miami? What are your thoughts on the Heat at post-winning streak? Go ahead, Steve. Or go ahead, Ty.
This is interesting. First of all, man, no roster against the Bulls shall prosper. Now that we got that out the way, man, we waiting on you, Derrick Rose. This return thing is something crazy. But the Heat, I mean, yeah, it was a great streak. Obviously, they said it didn't mean anything, but they wanted the streak. It would be nice to have both, but it's good that now they have the eyes on the prize. Ultimately, in the playoffs, I'm still taking the Heat because who's going to beat them out of 7? These dudes won 27 straight. Who's going to beat them out of a series of 7? It's nice to see them a little feisty because you got to keep that anger in you so you don't start every single game down. And as for this win, this is great for Chris Bosh. He put the team on his back and beat San Antonio, who was the team that everyone thought would end the streak. So this changes nothing. All it does is bring more respect to the Bulls that people thought were hurting without Rose. But Miami's still a team to beat. Too talented.
I think I have to agree with you there. I don't think nobody's going to beat Miami in the 7-game series at all. But it does shine a little light that you seen LeBron crying to the refs a little bit, crying to the media a little bit. You seen LeBron get a little frustrated after Gibson, after Heinrich took him out a little bit. You seen the Bulls punch him in the mouth, keep on punching him in the mouth, keep on punching him in the mouth. So what does that tell you for the future? I don't know. I still don't believe that no one could beat him in a 7-game series. But if Joakim Noah and if Derrick Rose could come back, they might win one game against them in a 7-game series.
Wow.
They might win one game. They might win one game. I give them one. That's about it, though. That's about it. I give them one. I think they might be on a pace to beat the Lakers streak of going undefeated until losing to Iverson in the finals. One game in the playoffs.
Oh, my God. Everybody, please get off of these guys. Big old you-know-what, okay? I mean, understandably, yes, it was a great streak. 27 games, the second most in the NBA. Almost got to 33, but they ran into the Bulls, who didn't even have their superstars except for Dame. But that being said, I still believe the Heat can still be beaten. I mean, it's not written in stone that they're just going to automatically go to the finals and win this year. I mean, yes, there is less competition now that Danny Granger is not going to be back for the Pacers. Now it's all going to be on Paul George. But the Knicks are starting to get their feet together. The Bulls are starting to get their feet together. And the Celtics are still a good matchup against the Heat. So you never know what's going to happen in the playoffs. I mean, I'm not the one to write in stone and say, the Heat's going to automatically get there now. I'm interested to see what's going to happen, especially after the formula you saw the Bulls try to knock him out, and be physical with LeBron and see what that does. I mean, I'm pretty sure teams are going to pick that up. So that's just me.
I'm just saying, I want my Bucks to get out the AC because if they are in the AC, they might as well not even show it to the playoffs. They might as well just stay home, don't go because they're going to get slaughtered. If they get up to the 7th seed, they have a chance against the Knicks. They have a chance. Not a good one, but a better one.
They ain't got a chance against the Knicks.
And I guess mentioning Steve's Knicks, I guess he said that they can beat the Knicks. But you know what's also interesting? Another team said that that the Heat can only beat them. That would be the Lady Bears down in Waco, Texas at Baylor. But they ran into a slaughterhouse called the Louisville Cardinals. Thoughts on the Lady Bears losing to number 5 seed Louisville? Go ahead, Ty.
Man, I mean, I didn't see this coming at all. I don't think anyone else did. Brittany Griner, I mean, no words. Brittany Griner, that's pretty much it. But the fact that they went down as a number 1 seed, and we're talking about a sport where there's virtually no parity. If you're a number 1 seed, you make it to the Final Four pretty much. Lots of Final Fours within women's college basketball is all number 1s, and obviously Baylor was the pick. So, I mean, this it's unfortunate for Baylor, but it's a little hubris. You know, maybe she started talking with a little too much bravado. You still got to play the game. Still got to play the game. I don't care how tall you are.
How fitting is it that they lost to a Louisville team that just hours before had felt the effects from the men's basketball team, Kevin Ware, you know, breaking his leg and rallying around that to make it to the Final Four. Then the Lady Cardinals go and beat the #1 seed by being physical with Brittany Griner, knocking down threes all over the place, and making a key play at the end of the game after Brittany Griner fouled them and making both of their free throws. Coming up with an improbable win for their school and knocking off the only team that everybody thought was going to win the women's national championship. Now things are kind of all up in the mix, and Louisville has a chance to make a good run.
This has to go down as one of the bigger upsets. And you have to go back to when Harvard beat Stanford, a 16 seed beating 1 seed in the women's college in a women's game. Then you have to go back with Shamika Holtzclaw going for her 4th national championship, losing to the Elite 8 to Duke. You have to go all the way back. But you know what the biggest mistake was? Odyssey Sims tried to come down the court, try to get her Trey Burke on, but she fell a little bit short. You know what the worst part about them losing? Worst part about Baylor losing? Kevin Durant was in the stadium and he went to the Louisville side after they won. That's heartbreaking. He went over to the Louisville side after they won. Signing pictures and autographs. Oh, man. Durant went on the other side. I think that's probably the icing on the cake, because if they would have won, they would have got pictures with Durant and everything. But Louisville act like they saw Obama. They was hugging him and everything. So it's just icing on the cake. It was an upsetting loss, a very upsetting loss. You know, so once again, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Phirst Contention. Steve reporting out there on the East Coast, Ty from the Midwest, me reporting from Minneapolis. Thank you. Have a good night. Follow us on Twitter at Phirst Contention. Adios.
Ride with Phirst Contention, that's full throttle in. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention. Phirst Contention. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention. Phirst Contention. Game face grit, like born for playoffs. Say it all in small time like payoffs.